Today we are covering chapter 7. Now, chapter 7 is one of the topics I don't miss in the exams. Whether you like it or not, there should be a question there. Now, chapter 7 is titled System Analysis and Design, but it originates from what we call the System Development Life Cycle. Get a pen, make summaries. Even if I'm giving you notes, but make summaries. Why? Summaries will be very brief for you to revise towards the end. So the heading is the System Development Life Cycle. The System Development Life Cycle. What's the definition? These are stages that software goes through. The stages that, or we can say these are the steps performed. The steps or stages performed. You can write my definition. The System Development Life Cycle. These are steps or stages performed. Stages performed when introducing new software, when introducing new software, or these are steps or stages that are performed when introducing new software, or when changing software, That's the definition I've given you. In my notes, you pick more on your own, but these are the summaries I'm giving you, and you should read. Is it okay? Or you could say, in summary, you could say, stages that software goes through. That can also be accepted. Stages that software goes through. That can be a good definition. Stages that software goes through. The stages that software goes through. Is it okay? Now, let's begin the stages straight away. Stage 1. Stage 1 is called system analysis. As I told you, I'm going to give you very summarized points. You can summarize. I'm going to give you only the purposes. System analysis is the first stage. So now, what does this one mean? Now, this is where, okay? This is where the old system is studied. System analysis. This is where the old system is what? Is studied. This is where the old system is studied, and the requirements of the new system are planned. That's the system analysis, where we study the old system and plan the requirements of the new what? Of the new system. You get? We study the old system and plan the requirements of the new system. That's a summarized point, but it is straightforward. Now, what does this mean? Before you make a new system, is it okay? You must find out about the old what? System or the existing system. You can't make a new computer system without finding out how the old system used to work. Is that okay? Now, we need to know, why do we study the old system? So can you write down, why do we study the old system? Why do we study the old system? Why do we study the old system? So I'm going to say why the old what system is studied before making the new what? The new system. Now, if I ask you to make for me a computer system, I'll first go and study the old one, the old system. But what are the reasons? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Number one, to understand how the old system used to work. You get? Just make summaries, eh? Understand how the old system works. Then two, any other reason why? Two, yes? You have to check for errors in the old system, that's good. Check for errors. In the old system, check for errors. To check for errors in the old what? In the old system. Is there any other person who can give us a reason why? Check for errors in the old system. Any other reason why we study the old system first before we make a new one? Feel free. To understand what the users want, what the people who are going to use the new system want. The people using the old system have to tell you what they want about the new system. So by searching about the old system, because you include them, you can understand what the users of the old system want from the new system. Because when you are studying the old system, you have to inquire from the people who are using the old system. So by inquiring from them, it means you can find, okay? You can find what the users of the old system want in the new what? In the new system. That's very important. You get? I said make summaries. I don't have people be sitting here. You must be writing, making summaries. Because you don't have time to read these notes I've given you. There's no time. So make summaries, everyone. If you have a laptop, you type. If you have a pen, write. What else? Why do we study about the old? Why do we research about the old system before making a new system? Does it help us to understand what we should put in a new system? Very good. To understand what to put in the new system. Very good. Now, next. Which methods do we use to research about the old system? If you want to study the old system, which methods do we use? So next, methods used to study or research about the old system. Now all the things came in your mocks and most of you messed up. Okay? Which methods do we use to research about the old system? We can first list them down. If you're making summaries, this is how you make summaries. Summaries means something you should look at and don't feel discouraged and feel it's a lot of work. Just list down the methods. Okay? You can just say here, these are the methods. We have interviews. By using interviews, we have by use of what? Questionnaires. We have what's called observation. Is it okay? Observation. And we have what's called reading what? Reading existing what? Documents. Reading existing what? Documents. I want you to have this summarized. And I want you to have you summarize. Okay? Now, these are the methods you use to search about the old system. What do we mean? If you want to find out how the old system used to work, then you're going to use these methods to get that information. And how do they work? How do they work? Interviews involve meeting. Meeting people who use the old system. And then you ask them what? Questions. You meet them physically and ask them questions. Those are called interviews. Meeting people and asking them questions. Are you getting me? Those are called what? Interviews. You meet them physically. So if you're summarizing, don't have to say interviews mean this. No. Just say here, you meet what? You meet people and ask them questions physically. Doesn't mean by summaries. You get? Meet people and ask them questions physically. See? Ask questions physically. Those are called what? Interviews. You don't have to you don't have to go to the next line, skip a line, describe interviews. No, this is enough. Summarize from here, the same area. Then questionnaires. Questionnaires is where you give out handouts of questions. You give out handouts of questions. Those are questionnaires. So this one means give people what? Give people handouts of questions. You give them handouts of what? Questions. They answer. You give them handouts. Now, this can be printed or they can be online. They can be printed or online. I said I want everyone to be writing summaries. You, musician, summaries. So here I give out handouts. These handouts can either be printed, they can even be written. Is it okay? They can be printed, written, or they can be online. Those are called what? Questionnaires. Is it okay? Now, these ones here, after I give those questions, people answer and then you collect their feedback. So you're not asking them questions physically. Not like interviews. Interviews, I meet you face to face and we talk and we discuss. But questionnaires, I give you, I sit down or I go somewhere, you answer, I collect the views later. Is that okay? When it comes to observation, observation basically means seeing people using the old system. You see them. Seeing people as they use the old system. That's called observation. So if you're summarizing, that's the thing you should write. Looking at people using the old or as they use the old system. That's called observation. You look at them as they use the old system. Looking at people as they use the old system. Reading existing documents, this one's very straightforward. Is it okay? Here you read information which is in form of what? Or you read documents that have information about the old system. You read information, are you getting me? Or you read documents that have information about the old system. You read documents. For example, if you go like in Cambodia, you can read the receipt books, you can read the report cards. If you're making a system for Cambodia, like the one they're making, they'll send them like copies of those guys came here. They looked at our report cards, they looked at our registration forms. You see those documents there. You look at them, you read through them. Is that okay? Do you understand? So now, let's look at the advantages. But make sure your work is summarized on one page. You get? What are the advantages now? So here, what you're going to do, if you're summarizing, it's a matter of just doing this. You see? Just do an arrow, you show advantages, disadvantages. And 3 are enough, not so many. You get? So you can do something like this and look at the advantages. Why are interviews better? Now, what I'm going to do to get these advantages, I'm going to be asking you questions and you tell me which method. Is it okay? Which method do you think allows uh, people to explain? Why do you get detailed information? Interviews, good. So in your summary, it means you should have something like this. Advantage than you say, you get detailed what? Detailed information. Do you know why? Because people they explain. Are you getting me? Or they give you more explanations, or they give you their explanations. Are you getting me? That's why you get more detailed what? Information. Which one is the quickest? Which one allows us to collect information from very many people quickly? Questionnaires. So you go there also, which means you're having that. For questionnaires, that one allows a lot of information to be collected very what? Very quickly. And the reason is because they can be given to very many what? Very many people in a short time. Which one can allow like questions to be changed in case people don't understand? Interviews, you see? So for interviews, questions can be adjusted. Is it okay? Can be changed in case people are getting me and not understanding properly. That's a good thing with interviews, which is a problem for questionnaires, because questionnaires you can't change. The questions are fixed. So for interviews, we can adjust questions to suit what people understand. Is that fine? Okay, let's deal with question. Let's first deal with interviews first. Is there any other advantage for interviews? They aren't hard to organize. If people are very few, if people you're interviewing are very few, then interviews are not difficult to organize. But if there are very many, they are difficult because you're going to carry them in different sessions. Are you getting me? Or groups. So if you say, in case people are very few, then interviews can be easy to organize. What are the advantages? No, do you think interviews can give us more accurate information? Are they more reliable? People can't easily lie during what? Don't say they can't lie, but they can't easily lie. Why? Because you can tell from their expressions. You get? They can't easily lie, which is different from questionnaires because they answer when you're not there. So they can't easily give wrong what? Information. Easily. Is it okay? Why? Because you can read their expressions when they are answering. But the disadvantages for interviews include: one, interviews. If people are very many, then they take a long what? A long time. Why? Because you must interview people in what? In different groups, or different people at different times. That's one disadvantage. In case people are very many, interviews take a long time because you have to interview different people at different what? Times. At different times. Another disadvantage for interviews can be affected by language barrier. Interviews can be affected by language barrier. Interviews can be affected by language barrier. Another disadvantage, people can't easily reveal private what? Private or sensitive information. People can't easily reveal private or sensitive what? Information. People can't easily reveal private or sensitive information. For example, you can't ask somebody how much do you earn. People might fear. They can't tell you the exact. Are you getting me? Yet in questionnaires they can. Is that okay? Is there any disadvantage? Now, in case people are very many, you get, in case, or you can say, in case many interviews, different interviews have to be carried out, you get, it becomes expensive. Why? Because the person interviewing has to keep what? Coming back. So you have to write and say, in case different interviews have to be carried out, It is expensive. It becomes expensive since they can be carried out on different what? Different days and different times. Now let's go to questionnaires. Now, if you're comparing the advantages, you can look at the disadvantages of interviews. They can give you advantages of questionnaires. Now, one, questionnaires. People can easily reveal private and sensitive information. So private and sensitive information can easily be revealed. Do you know why? Because you're not looking at them as they are giving you the information. And also, questionnaires remain anonymous. Because on questionnaires, don't put your names. People don't put their names. So questionnaires remain anonymous, which means people can what? Can reveal private and sensitive information. Is it okay? Another disadvantage, information can be collected very quickly because questionnaires can be given to very many people at what? In a short one, or very many people at a time. So a lot of information is collected at a time since questionnaires can be given to very many people at a time. That's another advantage. Is it okay? Your questionnaires now. Because you can distribute them, and then since you can distribute them, it means they can reach very many people, so you can get a lot of what? Information from a lot of people. Is there any other advantage for questionnaires? Is there any? Okay, disadvantages. Now, disadvantages are very good. They can take time to prepare. They take time to what? To prepare. They take time to prepare. Now, if you want to get the disadvantages for questionnaires, look at advantages for interviews. You get? So, which means another disadvantage for questionnaires is the questions can't be adjusted. The questions can't be adjusted. People can easily write false information. People can easily write false what? Information. Do you know why? Yeah. So in the exam, it's right now you say people can easily provide false information since, are you getting me? Or because people are not, questionnaires remain what? Anonymous, and people are not what? Watched as they answer them. That's the reason why. You get? They can easily give you false what? Information. Another point is that questionnaires don't, people can't give you more detailed what? Information. People can't give more detailed information. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because people can't express themselves more, like in interviews. You see? People can't express themselves more like in interviews. That's the reason why. Uh-huh. Next. Next. Do you have any? In case, oh, it takes time to understand people's what? Feedback. Are you getting me? Why? Because you must read through, first of all, and then you begin understanding. It's not like interviews where they tell you straight. Okay? So you take a long time to understand people's what? Ideas. And the reason is because you must first what? Read through their responses in the questionnaires, which takes a long what? A long time. Are you getting me? Which takes a long what? Long time. Our next observation. Observation, we said, observation basically means where you look at people using or as they use the old system, which means You visit the organization where the old system is, and then look at people as they are working. Why is that good? Number one, you get first-hand information. You get first-hand what? Information. Which is not like questionnaires and interviews. You get? Here you see exactly what they are doing and you observe by yourself. Second advantage, you understand quickly how the old system works. You understand quickly how the old system works. You understand quickly how the old system works. Is that okay? Next, is observation very tiresome? Is it tiresome? No. It's not what? Tiresome. It's easily done. Do you agree? Because you're looking at people. So it's easy to do. It's less tiresome because it is easily what? It is easily done. That's another point you can take there. And disadvantages, I know of one. One disadvantage of observation is, the major disadvantage is that people might not work. Are you getting me? People might pretend and work differently. People can easily pretend. They can feel shy. You get? People can feel shy and work or pretend. Is it okay? They can feel shy, pretend and work differently. And why is it bad? Which leads to false what? To false information. Which leads to false information. You end up getting false information. Reading documents. Next, reading documents. Why is it good to read existing documents found now about the old system? Number one, you get first-hand information. You get first-hand what? Info. Actually, that's the advantage I have. No, there are two. You get first-hand information. Then two, you get more detailed information. One, get first-hand information. Then two, you get more detailed information. More detailed information. Is it okay? So what does that mean? It means the third advantage is you understand the system more. Are you getting me? You understand the system more. You get? If you want, you can put it third or not. Disadvantage, because I think it means the same thing like the other one, isn't it? Because that one actually. Because if I get more detailed information, I can understand more. You can leave it. You can just add it on point number 2. That you get more detailed information, hence you understand the system more. You understand the system more. Lady, pay attention. Be attentive for now. Is it okay? Thank you. Disadvantage for reading: 1, it is tiresome. It is tiresome. 2, it is slow. Do you agree? Do you agree that it's slow? Because it takes a long time. Very good. Now, after collecting information about the old system, the next step, the next task you do in system analysis, because system analysis has got 2 things. You study the old system and you plan the requirements of the new system. So it's important for you to know that after getting information about the old system, you plan the requirements of the new system. So which means in your next line now should be planning the requirements of the new system. Write it down. Planning the requirements of the new system. Now here I want you to be very, very, very attentive. Very attentive. Requirements of the new system basically mean the things that want the new system to consist of. Requirements means the things that the new system should consist of and do. The things should consist of, is it okay? And do. Those are the requirements. However, what are they? This one should be very attentive now. What are the requirements of the new system? The first one is the hardware requirements. Now remember, we have said after you collect the system from the old system, information about the old system, that information you collect, you use it to plan the requirements of the new system, which means you plan what you need in the new system. What are those requirements? Number one, we have got what's called the hardware requirements. Let's first list them. We have hardware requirements. So the requirements include hardware requirements, we have software requirements, we have what called user requirements, then we have what called functional requirements. You first list them down, then I explain to you how they work. Software requirements, hardware requirements, user requirements, and functional requirements. Hardware requirements mean which hardware devices will be needed. Which hardware, this one basically means the hardware devices which are needed. Which are needed. Are you getting me? Which are needed on the computers where the new system is going to be used. The hardware devices needed on the computers where the new system is going to be used. Those are called hardware requirements. For example, if you're making a computer system for a supermarket, then you're going to say, we need a barcode reader. Are you getting me? Why? Because you know it's going to be used. We need a monitor or a screen. We need speakers. Why do you need speakers? To alert people about errors. You get? You need a barcode reader to scan the items. You need the screen or the monitor to see the information you're entering in the system or to use the system. You need a keyboard to type details of the items and the transactions. You need a mouse to select options. Those are called hardware devices. Without any of them, it means you can't use the system. Is that okay? You understand? Two, software requirements. Software requirements basically mean the other softwares, the extra, or you can say the other softwares, or systems that need to be installed. The other softwares or systems that need to be installed. Are you getting me? That need to be installed on the computers while the new system is going to be used. The other softwares or systems that need to be installed on the computers where the new system is going to be used. Now, this is the point here. There are some computer systems that require other softwares to exist. Without that, you cannot use the software. Most of you have tried to play games on your computers, and they tell you first install Java plugins. Have you ever seen that before? Have you done that before? Install Java plugins. Or some softwares will tell you you need an operating system of this kind. You need Windows this and that, which means the computer game you want to play cannot be played, are you getting me? If there is no software, are you getting me, of a specific operating system. You understand? So when you install that operating system, that's when your program works. If you don't, it does not. So it becomes a software requirement. Those softwares must be there. The other software that must be present for the system to be used. Next, we have what called user requirements. User requirements basically means the things that people going to use the software want the software to to do. Those are user requirements. The things that people going to use the software want the software to, are you getting me? To do or to have. Those are user requirements. People going to use the software. I repeat, it means the things, are you getting me? People going to use the software, are you getting me? Want the software to, are you getting me? The things the users want the software to have and to do. People going to use the software. So before I make for your system, you can tell me I want something, this and this and that. How do you get these user requirements? By looking at the information we have collected from the interview and everything, you can tell that this is what these guys want. Is it okay? These are called user what? Requirements. What the users of the new system want the new system to consist of. Functional requirements. Functional requirements basically means which kind of tasks or the things the new system is supposed to do. Those are functional requirements. That is stage number what? Stage number 2. So after stage number, stage number 1. Now after stage number 1, we now move to stage number 2 called system 1. System design. System 1. Now so I'm going to just talk about it briefly because we are going to give you an exercise you're going to be doing in class to know how it's done. Now system design basically, this one involves what? Writing or drawing sketches showing the things the new system must have or consists of. You write or draw sketches to show the components, are you getting me, or the things the new system will have. That's designing. You draw sketches to show, is okay, the components of the new system. What things do we design? Now in your summary. So the things designed include, so you have to note them down. The things designed include data input forms, the one which came in your mocks, is okay. Data input forms. We have what called data output forms, database files. We have algorithms. Then you have what called test plans. How do you mean? There are things that we design. So a computer system must have data input forms, output forms, database files, algorithms, and test plans. Is that okay? This one you're going to learn it from, I'll send you videos or we're going to give you an exercise. Is it okay? In class. For you to do some of them like input forms, like what came in the mocks. What you can remember, output forms you get and you see. But let's move straight to system what? Testing. Guys, order. System testing, write down. System testing. System testing. For design, we shall do it in class. System testing. Now, system testing, what you're going to try basically, this is where the new system is checked. It's checked if it works properly and has no errors. That's the system what? Testing. Checking if the new system works properly and has no errors. And has no errors. Then write down types of test data. Types of data used to test a system. Types of data used to test a system. We have 3 types of data. We have the normal, abnormal, and what? Normal, abnormal, and extreme. First list them down. We have normal, abnormal, and extreme. Normal, abnormal, and extreme. Is it okay? Now, what does normal data mean? Now, normal data basically means the data which is supposed to be accepted by the system. The valid or accepted, or you can say data which is valid and accepted by the system. Data which is valid and accepted by the system. Abnormal data means data which the system does not accept. Is it okay? Abnormal data means data which the system does not accept. I'm going to look at examples and you see. Data which the system does not accept. For example, if you have a program which receives students' marks, like Cambridge, is it okay? The marks are supposed to lie in the range of 0 to 100. So if I type negative marks, the program is not supposed to allow that. Okay? So negative marks become abnormal data because they're outside the range of 0 and 100. Then anything which is above 100 also becomes abnormal data. Then values like 25, which are in the range of 0 and 100, 25, 80, 20, 19, those are called normal data. Why? Because they are in the range, or they are the values that are what? Are accepted. Then we have what called extreme data or borderline data. Extreme data, extreme or borderline data, that one basically means the first and the last normal data. The minimum and maximum normal data. Because there's a range. Is it okay? We say, for example, for max, we expect from 0 to 100. So 0 becomes extreme and 100 becomes what? Extreme. So the first and last normal value. Is it okay? Or the minimum and maximum normal data value. Those are called extreme what? Data values. Very good. Now, when you're testing, you must use them. But it's something you need to note down now. Test plans. Are you there? You can say before testing a system, you first make a test plan. Before creating a system, you first make a test plan. You first make a test plan. Now, a test plan shows, is it okay? A test plan shows examples of normal, extreme, and abnormal data that you will use to test the system. It shows examples of normal, abnormal, and extreme data you want, are you getting me? You want to use when testing the system. You want to use to test the system. Then it also shows the results that the system should give from that data. Is it okay? I repeat. A test plan shows examples of normal, abnormal, and extreme data you want to use to test the system. Are you getting me? You want to use to test the system, which means at that time you have not yet begun testing the system, but you're planning and say, I want to use this and this and that. I want to use this normal data, extreme and abnormal. Are you getting me? Understanding? Now, it also shows the results the system is expected to produce. It also shows the results the system is expected to what? To produce from those, are you getting me? From the abnormal, extreme, and normal data that you want to use what? Test the system. So you say, I want to use this and this and this. The system is supposed to give me this and that. Are you getting me? Understanding? So in the test plan, you write, if I use this in the system, it must produce this. If I use this from the system must produce this. If I put a wrong password like this, the system is supposed to give me an error. If I put, for example, for marks, if I put negative marks, the system is supposed to give me an error. If I put marks in the range of 50, the system is supposed to accept the marks. Are you getting me? Now, why do you make test plans? If you do that, it means that by the time you begin testing the system, you begin seeing if the system is giving you the same results like the ones you planned in the test plan. So when you start testing the system, you compare what the result the system is giving you to the results you put in the what? In the test plan. Are you getting me? So you use the same values you planned, the test plan, put them in the system, then compare the results. If the system gives you the same results, it means it's working properly as you want. But if it does not, it means the system has got an error. Is that okay? That's how you can determine that's working properly or not. Now, after testing, you go to implementation. Here we shall be very quick. Is it okay? Implementation, I'll be very quick. Implementation basically means installing the new system. Installing the new system. It means installing the what? The new system. But which methods do we use? The methods we use include, write down, implementation methods include direct implementation, direct implementation. We have what we call the parallel implementation. The spellings are here. We have direct implementation. We have parallel implementation. In the video, you can copy the points even from this if you want. Parallel implementation. We have what's called the pilot. The pilot implementation. Pilot implementation. Then we have what's called the phased what? Implementation. The phased implementation. The phased what? Implementation. Again, are we there? Now I repeat. Now I'm going to go one by one. Those who have not listed them down. We have direct implementation. Now direct is very simple. This means that when you install the new system, you stop using the old system. That's direct. When you install the new system, you remove the old system and stop using it. That's direct implementation. Let's go to the advantages. Is it okay? Why is it good? Direct implementation is quick. The new system is installed quickly. New system is installed quickly. Do you know why? Because it is done at once. Are you getting me? Because system is installed at once. Another advantage is people get chance to use the new system very quickly. People get chance to use the new system very quickly. Is that okay? People get chance to use the new system very quickly. Another advantage could be, is it okay? It's less costly. You know why? It is less costly since it is done at what? It's done at once. It is less costly since it's done at once. Disadvantages include disadvantages. It is risky. It is risky because if the new system has errors, there's no backup system. It is risky because there's no backup system in case the new system has errors. There's no backup system in case the new system has errors. What do I mean by that? In case the new system has errors means you have no system to use. Is it okay? You have no system to what? To use. Then another disadvantage is people are not given enough time to test and appreciate the new system. Users are not given enough time to test. They are not given enough time to test and appreciate the new system. Because it's given to you at once. Is it okay? Very good. Order. Mr. Order. Parallel implementation. Now, parallel implementation works like this. With parallel implementation, if you're making summaries, um, the new system is first used alongside the old system. Or you can say both the new system and the old system are first used. Both the new system and the old system are first used together. Is it okay? They are first used together. Both the new system and the old system are first used together until you confirm. Is it okay? Until you confirm that the new system works better than the old system. Until you confirm that the new system is better than the old system. Josephine, tell us what, wait for me there 10 minutes. Tell them to wait there, that's all. Just tell them to wait there 10 minutes. This okay? Until what? The new system, you confirm the new system works better than the old system. Now, in this case, what happens? You use both of them for the same thing. Is it okay? What you're doing in the old, you also do it in the new system. Then you begin comparing. Now, it has an advantage. The advantage is, one, in case the new system doesn't work well, there's a backup what? System. So point number one, there's a backup system if the new system has errors. That's one point. There's a backup system. Then the second advantage is that, people have more time to test and appreciate the new system. People have more time to test and appreciate the new system. That's another what? Advantage. Is it okay? People have more time to test and appreciate the new system. Another advantage is there's a backup of information. Do you agree? There's a backup of what? Information. In case information is lost in the old system, you can have information. Are you getting me? Because when you're using them, you use both. What you put in the new system, you put in the old. So it means that in case information is lost in the old system, you can have a backup in the new system. You get? Or in case it's lost in the new system, there's a backup in the old system. Disadvantage. It is tiresome. I think you know why. You know why? It is tiresome because work is done what? Twice. It is tiresome because work is done twice. Because work is done twice. Then, secondly, it becomes labor expensive. Is it okay? Labor what? Expensive. Do you know why? Because you might hire, are you getting me? Double labor. Some want to do in the old system, some want to do in the new. That's what happens if you're not the one who's using both. There are some systems whereby you want to have people using the old system doing the same in the old. So you have the double what? Double labor, since work is done twice. Another disadvantage is that you have any. I think those are the ones. Is it okay? Next, let's begin from phase. Phase implementation. The new system is installed in bits or in phases. Are you getting me? In bits or phases. Bits or phases basically means parts. One part today, one part tomorrow. Is it okay? That's called what? Phase implementation. New system is installed in bits or phases. What does that mean? You get? You install different parts of the system at different times. Different parts of the system are installed at different times. You add that statement. Okay? Different parts of the system are installed at different times. What's the advantage for that? One advantage is that people get more time to learn. Are you getting me? To learn the new system. That is one point. They take more time to learn the system. Do you know why? Because they're learning part by part. Is it okay? Then two, people get more time to test and appreciate the new system. Next advantage. Next advantage. Errors can what? Eh? Errors can future errors can be what? Can be avoided. Why? Because if you test one part and there's a problem, is it okay? It means you can't accept that part before you get a new one. Understanding? In case you test a part and there's a problem, it means you can't continue to another part without solving this one, this problem. So it is reducing on the risks of what? Having errors in the new one system. Are you getting me? Disadvantage for this disadvantage, it takes a very long time. It takes a very long time, and then it can be expensive since it's done many times. It can be expensive since it's done many times. Then this one here, the next one is pilot. Pilot is what confuses most students. Is it okay? For phase, we said you install a system in bits. Different parts at different what? Times. However, in pilot implementation, you install the new system in different places at different times. You install a new system in different places at different times. Places. Are you getting me? This time it's not in bits. It's a full system, but you're putting it in different places at different times. For example, in one office today, in another office tomorrow, another office the other day. Are you getting me? Different places at different what? Different times. Is it okay? Now the advantages and disadvantages for pilot are the same as what? As phase. There's no difference. So if you know for the phase, you can just note down. It has the same advantages and disadvantages. Now next, after implementation, what we do? The next thing we do is documentation. You know it? Documentation. Yeah, after this, we're going to finish just in 10 minutes. Documentation. That's the next stage. Now, documentation basically means producing manuals about the new system. Producing manuals having information about the new system. That's called documentation. Producing manuals that have information about the new system. You produce those manuals. However, we have got two types of manuals. We have the user documentation and we have a technical what? Documentation. So you have the user and the technical documentation. They're both displayed there in bold. You have the user and the technical documentation. We have the user and technical what? Documentation. Now take note of this. They're both manuals. Is it okay? They have information about the system, but they have different information and different purposes. Now the user documentation basically has information showing how the new system works. That's the user documentation. It has information showing how the new system works. So what's its purpose? Basically, it's used by people to know how the new system works. That is the user documentation. The technical documentation. Let's first look at examples of what to put in the user documentation. Examples put in the user documentation are right here. Is it okay? Number one, you can show how to open the system. How to open the system. You can list them down. What to put in user documentation. The things put in user documentation includes one, how to open the system, how to solve errors. These things can be asked. How to open the system, how to solve errors, how to print, how to save. Is it okay? It has that data input forms. Data input forms which show how you're going to, which kind of information you're going to input, like the forms you have when you're registering on WhatsApp. That form you use to register your details, or Facebook. Is it okay? Or emails. That form you use. You have data output forms which show which kind of information is what is output. Is it okay? Data output forms are also put there. Technical documentation. Technical documentation, that one contains information showing, it contains information showing the different parts of the system, the different components, the different what? Components of the new system. Different components. Now, these components that it has are the same components that we have in the system design. Do you know why? Different components of the system which show how the system was created. Is it okay? How the system was what? Created. To show how the system was created. And you know its purpose? Is it okay? To show how the system was created. And you know the purpose of that? The purpose of that is to know how to maintain the system. If you want to maintain the system and make changes, is it okay? You look at technical what? Documentation. Now, which things are found in the technical documentation? Is it okay? The things found include database files. We have data input forms. We have data output forms. Is it okay? We have what's called program algorithms. Program algorithms, like to show which kind of program was written. Is it okay? We have what's called test plans. They are there on that page. Is it okay? Can copy more. Data validation checks. Is it okay? Data validation checks. I told you we shall do them in design, all of them. Is it okay? They are found in technical what? Documentation. Then now we are finishing up, just 3 minutes. Is it okay? After that, after documentation, we go system what? Evaluation. This is very simple. System what? Evaluation. Now, what does evaluation mean? Evaluation basically means checking how the system is performing. Checking how the system is what? Is performing. Checking how the system is what? Performing. Do you know why it is important? Is it okay? Checking how the system is performing. To find out if it has errors, it needs improvements, or it needs some adjustments. I repeat, this means checking how the system is performing to see if it has errors, it needs improvements, or it needs new features. Or it needs new what? It needs new features. Is it okay? If it needs some new things. Now in the exam, what they want is how is it done? Is it okay? Then we finish up with maintenance. Now, how is it done? How do we do evaluation? Now, this is why I want you to be very careful. What we call the evaluation strategy. How do you evaluate a system? When you're evaluating a computer system, is it okay? Since you're studying how it's performing, what you first do is to collect information about the system. So you use interviews, questionnaires, observation, are you getting me? To collect information or to find out how the system is what? Performing. You collect information about the system. That's one thing. Secondly, after collecting information about the system, you decide. Are you getting me? You decide or you find out what new things it needs, what problems, what errors it has, what improvements it needs, what new features, are you getting me? What improvement needs, what errors it has, and what new features it needs. Are you getting me? That's now the evaluation strategy, how it is done. Now, after doing that, we move to the last stage and we finish, which is called what? System what? Maintenance. Then we finish. System what? Maintenance. System maintenance basically means making changes or updates to the system. Making changes or updates to the computer system. Making updates or changes to computer system. Now, which kind of changes? Now, these changes are the ones that come from what? From evaluation. What are they? Is it okay? One, you remove the errors or you fix the errors. Is it okay? That is one change you do or update. Fixing errors. Now, that one is called corrective maintenance. You see? Corrective maintenance means fixing the errors the system has. That's what corrective maintenance. Then another update you do is when you're adding new features. Is it okay? If you find out in evaluation that needs new features, you must add them there. Is it okay? That's called adaptive maintenance. Adding new features to the system. It's there, adaptive. Adaptive maintenance means adding new features to the system. The things it didn't have before. Is it okay? You add them there. Then lastly, perfective maintenance. Perfective maintenance. Elisha, call your friends. Let them come. Perfective what? Maintenance. Now, perfective maintenance basically means making improvements. Are you getting me? Well, if you find that some things don't work well in the new system after doing the evaluation, is it okay? Some things that need improvement. When you improve them, you're doing what we call perfective maintenance because you are perfecting them. Is that okay? That's fine. So we shall look at system design now, where we design the input forms, design the output forms, validation checks, and database files. Now this is going to be in form of question and answer. That will be next week before your test. I want to share this video also. Is it okay? So you tell your friends who have missed